I know. So, I mean, if we're gonna do anything for a promo tonight, let's make it Bark Super Chewer Box.
Sounds like a plan, because it sounds like you've got your sweet Super Chewer right there with you.
Right next to me, right by my side, for very good reason we'll get to on the podcast. But guys, if you want to keep your dog occupied, and I'm trying, I didn't bring any of her toys up or her treats, and I should have. Go and get the monthly subscription Bark Super Chewer Box. It's the perfect subscription box for your furry friend. Every box comes with 2 tough toys, 2 full-size bags of treats, and 2 meaty chews. Mark your calendars and be excited. Most boxes arrive within 5 days. 100% happy guarantee. If the toy isn't tough enough, they'll replace it. 100% free of charge. No proof needed. No time limits. No questions asked. Dog allergies? Too many treats? Our crew of dog crazy people in Columbus, Ohio is here to make sure your Super Chewer Box is perfect for your dog. So go check out in our link down below or on our website, the Bark Super Chewer, and go pick up some stuff today. They have other stuff besides the subscription box, but I do go for it. Actually, I'm very excited about for the next one. It's a Harry Potter themed box.
Oh, that's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be so much fun.
Just have her tear Ron a new one.
Yeah. Let's get her the wand and then get her playing some Quidditch.
Love it.
All right, guys, let's start the show.
Welcome to the Scene Snobs Podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Scene Snobs Podcast. I'm your host, Mick Manhattan. Of course, joined, as always, by my partner in crime, Mr. Madman Casey Plott. How you doing, buddy?
I'm marvelous. Thank you, as always, my friend. I'm doing quite well. I see you're living sparsely, though. I'm kind of curious. It looks as though you've moved into a new location.
I have. We bought a house. Yeah, I get windows in this new location.
Sweet.
I'm no longer in like a little cove in the basement. I'm actually in an upward floor trajectory. And if that squealing you may hear next to me in this episode is my little pup, because she's not used to this house yet. And there's nobody else to watch her here because the HVAC system went out today. So it's 85 degrees in this house.
And how long have you lived in this new house?
Since yesterday.
That's awesome. That's a really exciting first couple of days.
And it worked all weekend while we worked on the house. But I'm going to give her a little pat while we're talking. And it worked all weekend while we were painting the house and getting everything ready. But it's not working now. And I'm going to close this window because I see a big old spotted lanternfly flying by and I don't want it inside of me. I'm a mess today. I'm so tired and a mess.
That's totally fine. It happens. I mean, clearly you're just working your way into your first cycle, your new cycle of hell and homeowning.
The HVAC system will be fixed soon. So hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
And then my wife and kids can come back from the hotel because it's too hot for them. The dog and I are doing all right because fans are all over. We have windows open and it's only like 75 degrees. Well, now it's like 50. So it's a nice brisk evening. So we're doing pretty well. But let me tell you, you're fine. I'm right here. I'm talking to Casey. See, you see him.
Hi, Reba. That's what it is, man. You know how she freaks out whenever I'm around.
She loves you. She loves hearing your voice, man. And she's staring at you right now. Like she's not even looking at me.
Girl.
This is everybody. This is Reba.
Hi,
she's
Reba.
Just hanging out. So if you watch the show, you'll be able to see her. If not, you can go see her on her Instagram. So we're just hanging out. We're having a good old time. We have a very special show planned, though.
Oh man, do we ever?
We have a very special guest that I'm very excited for.
Yo, this is awesome because first of all, it's our Tuesday night show. It's the sacrament, the sacrament. We only bring fellow snobs on to Tuesdays. It's a big deal. Yeah. And this is one that we met a few years back, and I definitely say I classify it.
Yeah, I mean, Brian Krause, everybody. He's going to be our guest tonight on the show, and he's been on the show before. He's a fan. And Casey's right. He's a snob. He's a friend. He's a great guy. We love talking to him. And we're going to get into it tonight because he has a new podcast, too, we want to talk about. And, I want to get into that more closer to when he comes on.
Yeah, we'll bring that up. We've got a few more minutes, so.
So yeah.
Why don't we say hi to everybody?
Let's go down the list. Let's say hi to everybody before we really get started. We got Kathleen here. Stop.
Hi, Kathleen.
Microphone. How is it only just now 9:00? It's not. It's 9:05. Today has been so long. Trust me, I know. What's up, Chicken? How you doing, buddy? John's here. What's up, John? Radar and his Dr. Nick.
Hi, everybody.
Ron is here. I couldn't be snobbier if I were submerged in a snob dunk tank.
No, you, sir, you couldn't. We love you for it, Ron.
Chris Harris is here. What's up, buddy? Snobs Nation in the house. Good evening. Please stop knocking over my microphone, puppy. Yay, puppy in the house. A happy new house. And then she said puppy in the house. Homeownership summed up in one sentence. That's right. There she goes. Now she's off to the races. HVAC system will be fixed and something else will break. Yes, Kathleen, this is not my first rodeo.
That's why I am decidedly not saying anything else that could go wrong, because I will not be blamed for a single thing in this house.
You were there for the first one too. Don't say things like that. Guys, it's Reba Radar just wants the BarkBox stuff. It's all over the place. We got it all over the house.
She's going to find some right now.
I'm too excited for this guest, Teenage Girl Crush. He's amazing, so you're going to have a great time with it. Liz is here. What's up, Liz?
Liz.
Kathleen, also a little jealous case he didn't stand you up, Mick, like he did to us last night. Oh, give him a fair shot. No, I will defend my friend to the end here.
No, admittedly, I love it, and I love your defense. That was I got smoked hard at work. That was an 18-hour shift, followed up by a 12-hour today, so yeah. Apologies. People break stuff and it's my job to fix it.
And Kathleen, in fairness, he's going to stand up your show before he stands up his show.
Yeah, no, I was able to get home, and I'm lucky I was just able to shower for like 30 minutes. It felt so good because I did not leave work last night. So to have actually been able to make it home today was a victory.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you did, and I'm glad you're here. CRP GOT. CRP got smoked at work.
Yeah, they lit me on fire, but slowly, and put me on a spindle, never going above 195 degrees. Otherwise, I'd barbecue.
People suck, ruining the fun. Who's ruining the fun? Oh, work. Yeah, that's true. They do. But he's here tonight. You get to see him in action, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. So yeah, I am stressed to the gills.
You are, man. And the fact that you consider yourself having gills, you're a mammal. So that's a problem, man, if you think you're a fish, bro.
I'm half mammal, half fish man. Mm-hmm. I think I'm Aquaman.
You're almost. I believe it.
I'm almost Aquaman.
You're almost Aquaman.
We are getting excited for it. So Brian should be joining us any minute, and we'll bring him on. We're going to get into some fun topics. But, Case, I got to tell you, since our last episode, a lot's happened to me. Besides the house.
You've gone through a lot. I mean, you've had the house. We had the Skyline Indie Film Fest.
Yes, that was a lot of fun. There she goes, off to the races, screaming downstairs. I am not doing well tonight.
It's like somehow we remembered how professional we were leading up to this and really excited, and then all of a sudden life happened, and we're like, "Yep, fly by the seat of your pants, folks. We'll make it happen."
But that's what did we say last week? We're the Mavericks that gotta push it one more. This dog has never howled the entirety I've had her. Never barked occasionally, whined, sure.
Whines a lot. She communicates through whines. It's very cute.
Never howled like a banshee. And what's the night she chooses? What night? This night.
Of all nights. Show night.
Well, guess who's keeping that Harry Potter BarkBox? Her, of course. I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, I could see you chewing on it when you're stressed. It might help you.
Just gonna sit in my chair chewing on the toy in front of her. Like, you can't have it.
You keep giving her the old Velociraptor. Or you keep this one.
Your dog sounds a little like a Yoko Ono. Yeah, she does.
I think that's actually, I believe that's a compliment to Reba, more than it is a diss on Yoko.
You okay, baby? You screaming downstairs? You okay? Just stay with me.
She misses her family.
I know. She's a good girl, though. She's a sweet pup. Yeah, you've never howled before in your life, and of course you're doing it when we're doing a show.
Honestly, because she just wants to be like us. She's just trying to imitate saying, I can be on the show, guys. Where's my third mic?
Is the Scene Snobs channel going to have its first ever doggy podcast?
I think it's about ready.
Let's do it. Let's get to it. I swear to God, if you bite my wires, I'm not going to do anything. I keep... like, my whole life is, being married and having kids and a dog and just empty threats.
Constant empty threats. Well, the best part was once I realized they were empty threats, that's when we really became friends. When I was like, oh, he won't harm me. It's fine.
I think I'm Ralph Cramden in my age. That's just what I've become. Just need to get the bus driver job.
I will absolutely come bursting through your door. You give me a key and I will Ed hard.
Oh, yeah, you will. 100% will.
Hey, that Ruffy
boy. We have a very special guest who has joined us. Please don't knock over my microphone, pup. And we're going to bring him on now. Mr. Brian Krause. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
How you doing?
I'm doing great. What's happening?
I love it. You know what? I know you're a true podcaster now because you got the Shure microphone. 2 out of 3 of us have it anyway.
Crushing it, brother. Loving the headset.
I got to get you one, buddy. I got to get you one.
Well, for some reason, I'm hearing you through the computer and not my headphones, but I think I dig the headphones, so they keep my ears warm.
Yeah, they look good on you.
Huh?
They look good on you.
Yeah, I just don't know how to figure.
I plug them in. I don't wear them anyway, but I just plug them into the back of the mic.
What's that? Watch it. Maybe this is a cooler look. Hey, so what's up?
There you go. Yes. Look, brother. Yes.
Good morning, Vietnam.
So hold on. I got a little something in my ear.
A little something coming through. Yeah, a little something. It's my other people. Yeah. They're talking. Yeah.
I can't figure this shit out.
It's part of the fun, bro. Just drive by feel.
Listen, it takes forever, but once you get there, it's okay. I'm still figuring it out. I don't know. We're going on year 3.
Shit.
Yeah, we just roll the dice a lot, and it happens to work out.
That's fantastic.
Our last podcast, we literally did nothing technical. We just sat down in chairs. That was it.
Really?
Yeah.
And just recording on your phone, doing the thing. Hey, somebody edit this.
Wait, we had a third who actually did it. He was the guy who wanted to do it all. So we were like, this is great. And then all of a sudden he didn't want to do it anymore. And we got stuck doing all the hard stuff.
Wow.
I say it's mostly him.
It is mostly me, but Casey's my moral support.
Oh,
I will tell you, we're so happy to have you on the show again, man.
Oh, I love it. There we go. Yes.
We got Kathleen here. She's swooning right now because she's got a crush on you hard.
Oh, hi, Kathleen. Thanks.
Brian looks like a more outdoorsy Bob Phillips. Oh, is that Bob from his show?
Bob the Suit. Yeah, one of his comedian friends.
Bob is a comedian who's a funny guy. And I kind of get that, yeah.
Is he outdoorsy?
No, he is the indoorsy.
He's very indoorsy.
So, man.
Brian,
I want to take much for me.
Yeah.
That's great.
I want to talk to you about your new show, man. So I've been getting into it a little bit. I never really watched Charmed when it was on. I was nothing against it.
What?
This guy, right?
Listen, those were times where I don't remember a lot of what happened. So I may have watched it, but I don't remember a lot of what happened.
Good, we're all on the same page.
No, because Casey remembers every episode.
That was because I would play Edward 40 Hands with my buddy after, waiting tables, and Charmed was on at that slot. So it's what we did, bro. It was awesome.
That's fantastic.
My favorite thing was like, oh my God, Brian Krause is going to be here when we met you at the convention. He's like, I got to meet him. I was like, all right, we'll get you to meet him. And then, of course, you become one of the best human beings on the planet. And you've been always so sweet to us.
Oh, thanks.
And he's just been in seventh heaven ever since. So, another one. That's another show from that time.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
We were trying to go through all the different shows because there were so many at that time between the WB and, you guys had brought up on your show, the House of Halliwell. You actually all brought up a bit of the spelling verse and getting into Aaron Spelling and how many different shows he had going on at that time. And it was wild.
So many shows, coming through the 90s as an actor, you knew you were going in for something. 90210, Melrose Place, whatever it was, came off the end of Dynasty and everything else. And, Spelling just had a track record. And then television was transforming at that time, as the WB opened up. I mean, this Fox was, obviously had taken off a bit, with The Simpsons and then Married with Children. And, you were starting to get a little more content on television at that time. So, they were catering away from your main ABC, CBS, NBC shows and giving something to a little bit younger audience. With the sci-fi, the fantasy, the thriller, the Buffys, and these sort of things. And, Charm fit right in with kind of a new type of television, if you will. The three girls, the magic, and that whole thing. It hadn't really existed up to that point unless you were on the Sci-Fi network, if you will. So,
right.
And now we have, too many channels.
Streaming services, everything else.
Yeah.
I remember the massiveness that was the WB when it started later the CW, but and ushering in, and Charmed was one of the ones that really like pushed it. Buffy and I think Charmed were the two biggest. At that point.
They were all about that frog, man. It really took off, and then I think the main one that really got them was it In Living Color. Were they on the WB for a second?
I think they were syndicated on the WB,
and
but they started on Fox.
And it became a little too much for them, right? And then Fox obviously became like, Fox is huge, but
but they became the edgier for a while there.
Stepbrother, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how we felt when we were making the show. It's like, you didn't need huge ratings; you just needed, a decent share for that network. And it's amazing. Here we are. 20 years later, and the show's still on every day on TNT, all around the world, and going to different cons, like where I met you guys, just seeing how many people have watched this show. And, obviously there's a spinoff that hasn't really gained the traction the first one did. And the fans are really still yammering for the girls and, the originals, if you will. And that was kind of the brainchild Drew Fuller had come up with, a way to give the fans more new content with some of the originals. So, I blame Drew.
That's strong.
Yeah,
that's strong. That works. How have you enjoyed kind of rehashing some of that and opening those again?
I was actually talking with Holly last night, and we were talking about, subscribers and listeners and Patreons and the whole thing. And, the whole thing for me, just in making the show, from that time in my life, being married, getting divorced, my son moving across the country, it became a very hard time in my life. I was very depressed. My son wasn't with me, and I started drinking a lot, and, I was hurting emotionally. And, since the show has ended, I've transformed my life and getting sober and getting things together and having a relationship with my son. And there's been a lot of healing from that time in my life. So, to open it back up and kind of go back and relive 1998, 9 and all the way is kind of looking back at myself and everything that it was. And there's a lot of reminders in there personally of where I was in my life. So it's not easy, but, I know the fans want to talk about the show, and it's about the show and the guests we had and the making of, and, it's hard not to draw in where I was, but, luckily enough, I'm in a spot in my life that I can look back at it all without, regret and total appreciation, and being so grateful that, my character stayed on the show, and, so grateful to the girls for, allowing me to play Leo, if you will, to the network, to everything. I mean, it's a piece of my life. 8 years is a long time. Considering it was, it's almost a quarter of the life I've been here. It's really made me who I am. And I think being able to sit here and know that, and, to be able to give something back to the fans and share the insight of it, I'm able to do now because I'm in a spot to be able to talk about that time in my life. So, and kind of make fun of myself. So, that's where I'm going with it.
Which is fantastic. And it's great to hear that side of it. I know one of the things I really appreciated hearing actually while you, the last episode when you were interviewing John Kretschmer, it was really great getting that different aspect that you give, that different, perspective that you have of working with a director. And you made a great comment about how comfortable he made you. And I was kind of curious, have you had great interactions with like that you're able to kind of call upon with awesome directors who made you comfortable, who brought you into that space, who helped you, grow as an actor or just shine?
Well, for sure. Directors come in all different forms. And one thing I've learned over the years is most directors fall into one camp. Either you're an actor director and you know how to speak to actors and talk their lingo, or you're a technical camera guy. And it's rare that you get both. A lot of directors just, I hired an actor to do it, so let me just worry about this dolly shot, right? And they don't even pay attention to the actor. But John Kretschmer, being the man that he is, and he's still directing big TV shows today, and he had just come off of Riverdale, I think, and he's just such a sweet, caring man that, he sees the picture of the set. He feels the heartbeat. And when I said that about him, it was like, here I was, just a possible recurring, and it's like open arms to me. And, that's how it was. And he was with us all the way through, for, I don't know how many he wound up directing, but, he'd pop onto the set and you'd be like, here's Uncle John, like to make you feel comfortable. And, we were lucky. We had quite a few different directors that would come on that really, were a part of the family.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's especially in a point where I wasn't sure where I was in my life and staying on the show. And, I'm not one of the three girls. I'm Leo. So, I never really quite knew my spot. So when I had a director come in and kind of be like, hey, Brian, over here, you're put their arm around me and be, into it. It made me feel part of the family.
That's awesome. That's really cool. And one thing for me, and I'm always wondering, because I'm watching a lot of these rewatch podcasts come out, and I love that. I've always been a mark for behind the scenes, listening to cast and crew talk about their experiences on things. I always love that. I love getting in depth about everything, and these shows doing it are just fantastic to have the celebrities. Like, because I've listened to rewatch podcasts where it's kind of like random people who just were devoted and loved the show doing it,
right?
But the actual names behind it coming on and talking about it is just so much fun. And I know we talked a little bit about you kind of revisiting, but are there any special episodes coming up that in the future you're really looking forward to kind of getting into and exploring again?
Well, tomorrow we launch with Tony Dennison, and maybe Tony from Major Crimes and a million shows that he's done. And I did
a movie with him. I worked.
Oh, you did? He's so fantastic. Well, our next episode is with Tony, and he gives a fantastic interview, and what a great perspective on spelling and life and everything. And I kind of know Tony from, I did a closer a few years back, and then I meet him at different charity poker events, and we play words with friends. And, he's been sober for, I don't know how many years, 30 years or something. And he's kind of like a big brother in a way of, someone to look up to and a place to get to, when, look, you change your life, right? And he's living proof. So I was really excited to do that one. We just had Danielle Harris on, and she's amazing. She's her own brand at what she does, and getting that insight of how much grit she had from 8 years old to where she is now, and sustaining a career. It was a pleasure to talk to her, and going forward, tomorrow we're going to have 3 of our Patreon members on, a few different people that we've met at different cons, and some big mega fans. So we look forward to doing that a few more times. And, we're just lining people up per episode. John Cho was on, and his episode is fantastic. And, he's amazing and just working. And, you know, it's the people we've had on already are good people and they're successful. And it's like, wow, you know, it's for everybody out there wondering, it's, you know, good people last in this business. And if you've seen somebody for a long, long time on television or movies, it's because they're generally a really good person. And, you know, I want to affirm that when we do our show and kind of get into the minds of them. Where were you in your head 26 years ago? You know, what were you thinking? You did this little one-off role, you know, was that it? Was it a big thing for you? And kind of just get into the mind of the actor for them a little bit. You know, where were you at doing this? You came onto our show, but, you know, what was life like for you? You know, what was your experience?
And it's nice hearing you because you definitely bring that depth already, just briefly in the couple episodes that have posted. It's been nice to hear that. And it's brevity. It's wonderful. That sort of the actors, the creative.
We'll bring on crew members and people that were there for a while. And we just want to give everybody a real behind the scenes of what it was. And, you know, for me, it's going back and watching the show for the first time, really. Yeah. You know, so I'm like, oh, God. You kept me on the show after that?
That's going to be really fun to seeing a few episodes down when it's like just tearing yourselves apart. I can imagine each of you just starting to pick and pick and pick.
It's even for your first watch, and I'm glad, you know, it sounds kind of cool that you're doing it now. You know, later on, you go back, you sit back, and now you get to sit down and actually talk it out right after you watch it. You know, I kind of imagine it brings on a lot of emotions, but is it nostalgia at this point or something like that?
Well, for sure it's nostalgia when you look at the quality of our special effects. You know, even on the show, when we're season 1 right now early, and by the time we get to season 8, I mean, our special effects, what happened in that world is incredible. And we watched it happen on our show, from doing effects practically to, you know, where they are now of, you know, not needing a plate, not needing anything, throw it on the green screen. You don't have to freeze. I mean, the special effects world really took a jump in those 6-8 years. You know, and the nostalgia of, clothes and, you know, we got cell phones with antennas and, you know, that type of thing. Like, wow.
Still using payphones on occasion.
Don't knock it. I love the clothes trends of that day.
Oh, yeah. Those are fantastic clothes trends. That's what we lived.
It's true. And everybody wants a flip phone with an antenna. It's actually cool.
Of course. And no screen, like barely any screen. It's all green.
Yeah. You didn't have a screen. It just said numbers, like boop, 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 boop.
I'm at the point I'm ready to go back, if that means anything.
Right. Get rid of the smartphone.
Mm-hmm.
So and getting together, you know, so doing House of Halliwell, how did the concept come together? How did you guys all get together and say, okay, let's do this?
Well, I guess it basically started with conventions. I've been doing them with Holly Marie Combs for a dozen years now. We've been fortunate to travel the world from Paris to Australia and back, and you know, done a few with Shannon Doherty as well. And it's kind of, and then we started bringing on some of the other cast, and you know, our favorite son on the show, Chris, played by Drew Fuller. He's done a bunch with us, and when. I guess how it happened is we do panels, and the three of us seem to have a shorthand, a bit of a. It's fun. If you've seen a panel with the three of us, it's a good time. So Drew was the one who was like, "Hey, you know, let's take this show on the road." He's a big podcast listener. He's you know, aware of some of these other, you know, rewatch shows, and like, you know, we should be doing this, and our fans are constantly asking us for more content. They want us in a reboot. They want us in a movie. So he kind of came up with the concept of getting the three of us together, and basically almost as if it were a panel at a Comic-Con. Let's get the three of us on the mic and see if we can't bring a good time. So he told me Holly was in, and then he told Holly I was in. And all of a sudden we're like, what? He got us. I guess we're doing this.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
What a smart, good job, Drew. Good job, Drew.
Yeah,
Thanks,
good
buddy.
on Drew. I think he had a vision, and hopefully it becomes well received over time.
Yeah, I'd have to say thus far, y'all are finding your feet very well. So, as people have just kind of stumbled through for the past, decade, we'll figure this out.
Yes, you guys are doing it, and you stick to it, and you bring your fans in, you redo it. It's not an easy thing for all the listeners out there to host a podcast, to be on it, to come up with content, to commit to putting yourself out there, in video and voice, and especially in these this scary world of what you say could come back to get you very quickly. How you monitor yourself and to commit to it. Kudos I to you guys for sure. It's to me, this is a whole new world, and I'm kind of scared of it.
And we always like to say, welcome to the family, man. You're a podcaster. So if you have questions, you need help, we're an open door policy, man. We're not here to hold anyone back, accepting all. Exactly. Tears. We deal with tears a lot. It's fine.
I agree with every sentiment, but my dog is squealing right now, howling at the moon. So I keep muting because I can see it too. Right out the window. There's a blood full moon tonight. I'm screwed.
Yeah, right. It's going to be all damn night.
No, but I'm listening. I love it. And thank you. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to argue with that, like when it comes to putting yourself out there, like you said, and everybody who does it, and so many people have kind of gotten into this and really start doing it more and more, and it's
So a question, it's like, what do fans want? I mean, why would someone pick up their phone and listen to a podcast as opposed to anything else in any other way you can get sound and music and news radio and talk radio and all these other things, to delve into a podcast, whether it be an interview or a rewatch or, some sort of journalism or, a podcast on how to grow bonsais, whatever. I mean, I started looking at the different podcasts that are out there. Pick a subject.
Oh, it's outrageous. They have realtor podcasts all over the place.
Yeah.
It's wild that the
I was studying French, and there's a podcast for that.
Perfect.
Well, I will say, just based on because this is our 11th year together doing this, and this is our 3rd year with the Scene Snobs, but we've been doing this for a long time. Wow. And the biggest thing I've found with podcasting is be genuine. If you're genuine about whatever, don't come out here and pretend. And I feel like that's what everybody is really enjoying, at least from our audience standpoint. That's what I like about it. And just come up here and make everybody feel good because you include them or you incorporate them in some way, and you're just. Like my dog right now, I have to incorporate her because she's going to howl.
Get that in there.
As a fan perspective, if I had to go on out on a branch and say that out on a limb here, that perhaps a fan might want to hear exactly what you guys are doing, which is always the perspective of the parts we don't know. What was going on at that time? What was it like on set? What was it like, during some of these scenes, finding out that, when y'all discuss going from season 2 to 3, I believe, when you went from film to digital, and you don't have to freeze anymore. You can actually, there's a special effects that's going to come in. Those are fascinating parts. Those are such fun little nuggets to learn about something that we've committed to, years of our lives to watching, that we kind of brought up at different times. And maybe that show was a good friend during a hard time in our lives. So it's great to see and learn more about that good friend. I think is one of the best ways to look at it. And y'all are doing that very well.
In our audience, particularly diehard Charm fans, I've met people that are 85 and whose great grandchildren are now watching the show at 7. It's like there seems to be something that ties our fans together. There's a through link and a commonality about all of them, and it's not the same people that watch, Law and Order. It's, maybe they do, but there's something about our show. There's something about the girls, the Power 3, if bad comes in your life, keep doing the right thing, the good thing, and good will win. And, it's a superhero concept, but it's really a human concept. It's something we all hope that can be true in our life when people in our lives aren't showing it to us, whether that be our parents, our boyfriend, our girlfriend, our school compatriots, whoever it may be, people at work, and, people that feel marginalized in any way. I think our show really had a message that, helped, like you say, helped a lot of people kind of escape and believe in, this power that's out there, the sisterhood that can be, believe in the good, it can work. And, to all our fans of everything, it's, you wouldn't be where you are as an actor or filmmaker without fans. And, I have to say, traveling the world we've been lucky to do and actually go face to face with people at conventions, and look in their eyes and, give them a hug or whatever it is. It touches me beyond. I mean, it fills my heart. And, I can't imagine a life without doing them, because I just love the interaction. It's like, man, really? The character I played? Shit. Did you watch 3 episodes before? Because that, like, no, I loved
it. Well, that's part of the joy too. There was a level of, with that show too, there's some tongue in cheek. There's some not taking yourselves always so serious. And then other times when you need to take yourself seriously and it comes across really well. It was a good balance, I think, in Charmed. And it was one of the healthy ways it worked out so well. There's enough slapstick and silliness. I mean, people get frozen in weird positions. That's hilarious, weird.
And that's kind of what we discuss on the House of Halliwell, our podcast, is, Holly is, that perspective of what were the girls thinking? What were you guys thinking, coming into this show that is, so out there compared to what you guys have done, and how you, balanced all of it. And, for me, I'm hearing some things from her myself that, I would have never dared ask a fellow actor, things you don't talk about with your fellow actor, especially when you're not, one of the three. So, I can ask questions now I couldn't before, which are great.
That's the whole reason for the rewatch. That's what it is. Now you got all the
I have questions for you, Holly Marie Combs. I have questions.
Been sitting on these dimes for a minute. Oh, that's fantastic, man. We lost him for a sec. I'm sure he'll be right back. But so you brought up the conventions, Brian. Well, how does it feel? What is one of the craziest stories I would actually ask? Like, what's one of the most ridiculous moments you've had on this that really just touched you and blew your mind? Like, was it one of your first conventions? What was a convention moment that really opened your eyes to, holy cow, this is huge?
Actually, when I was on the show, somewhere around season 7 or 6, 7, 8, somewhere late, I had gotten an offer to go to a convention. And, at that time I did a soap for 6 months, and you had to do certain appearances, and that was part of a soap contract. But the television and film world, some people that didn't. I heard people show up at a mall, or, it was kind of weird, and it almost seemed contractual. And really, Star Trek was the only one doing conventions at the time on the regular. It hadn't opened up to what it is today. I just was at Dragon Con, and that's like the nth degree of what it's become, right? So my first foray out, and I turned that convention down. Why would I fly across the world to make, what is that? I got to go meet people? Like,
are there humans? I don't know.
You're going to put me on a stage and people are going to point and snicker? Like, I'm not down for that. Do it, monkey, do it.
Yeah, come on, dance.
Yeah, I am an actor, right? And I was like, that's silly. And so as it went on, and I've heard different people, and as you know, San Diego and the Marvelverse and everything that started to happen, I'd have to say my first convention was probably around 2009 or 10, and I think it was Spooky Empire. I'm pretty sure, and the guy that runs it, their PD, is a fantastic guy. Runs a great show, and they've been going forever. And it was awesome. I met fans, and we had a beer, and we're hanging out, and like the music's playing, and it was like this is fun. And, you know, then you're aside and people would tell you, oh, I watched it with my grandma because when I grew up with That's a Family and thing stuff. And that show meant so much to me and my family and my sisters and my brother and blah, blah, blah. And your relationship with Piper. And they tell me about our whole storyline that affected their life.
Yeah.
Their life, not just, you know, oh, it was a cool episode of that action thing. It was like this show affected my life. And I was hooked, and I love going to conventions and meeting people and connecting and hearing the stories, because what it meant for me when I was doing it and everything that I went through, you know, just being an alcoholic at the time and, you know, out of my mind, depressed, and, you know, to be here now and recovered and happy, and, you know, I can have something in common with the fan and be like, wow, you see me as one way when I was going through something totally different. You know, I got a story for you. So, you know, to be able to sit down and share that. And I remember we were in Philadelphia, I believe it was a Wizard World, the weekend my mother passed away. And she was my biggest supporter ever. And just a love of a woman. And that morning, it was Saturday, Philly and 50,000 people, and it's Saturday, and I get the call, and I'm like, man, what do you do? Do I fly back to Los Angeles? You know, what do I do? And, you know, talk to my dad, whatever. And, you know, just the words my mother had told me as I was getting into this when I was, you know, 19, 20 years old, just starting, and of just, you know, your fans are everything, Brian, you know, write that letter back when you get a fan mail or whatever, engage. These are who and why you will be what you are. And I remember just going out there and buck up and brave it up. And, you know, just go, oh my gosh. Right. And standing out there, and I sat at the table for a second, and, you know, everybody just kind of held the line, and guys like, are you sure you want to be here? I'm like, where else am I going to go, man? Go sit on a plane I'll be home in a day. My dad has family with him. This is where I'm supposed to be. And, you know, kind of sucked it up for a minute and looked up and saw, you know, these people in line who had no idea that my mom had just passed. And they're like, is it yet? Yeah. You know, and I'm like, how can I not be here?
Yeah.
And man, what a day I had. And I didn't sit there telling people, oh, you want a Brian Krause? I don't know. My mom just died. No, just engaged in the moment. And I have to say, the show that gave the fans so much and got them through something, they got me through that day and beyond. And, you know,
that's amazing.
It's so forever. My heart is in it. I love to be there. I want to be there. I want to engage. And, you know, I'm not Brian Krause, actor across the table. And so, you know, I know every actor treats it different and feels different, and every human being, we're all humans. I'm a very connective person. I'll talk to anybody at any point, anywhere. You know, that's.
Yeah. You are the type of guy too. I just want to point that out. Like, you know, I mean, for us coming in, that was our first year, just kind of doing that for Carolina Fear Fest. And you were truly an amazing guy. You came up, you didn't just come up to us and give us an interview. You were like supportive with it, and you came up and you were talking to us, and like, it felt so wonderful. And you were so down to earth, and you hung out with us, and like, we always appreciated that. Like, you were always truly a fantastic human being.
Absolutely. Well, totally radical person that just, you know, was able to make our trip worthwhile, and really able to always nice to be able to connect to someone, like you said, and find those random friendships out in the world, because everybody's got them. So it was awesome.
Well, thanks. And I'm sure if you got to know me, you'd think I'm an asshole like a lot of people. But, you know, look, what I do is being an actor. You know, it's almost like every actor is a dual personality. We really are split personality. I'm Brian Krause in the lights and on the paper, and then I'm Brian Krause inside my body, inside my heart, inside my soul. I'm the child that grew up just like everybody freaking else.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing was, you know what I mean? Ain't no different. Yes. Did I get in trouble for that? Yeah. Did I do that? Yeah. Is that Brian? Yeah. Like I'm that, just like every other person, right? Yeah. I had a bully. I had a girlfriend. I whatever. I mean, I went through all the same stuff as I had a very, I guess, normal upbringing, in Orange County, California. And as much as it could be away from the glitz or Hollywood or even the idea of you could be on TV. Like I grew up on I could be on Scooby-Doo.
That's a thing. Like, do they draw me too?
Can I be on the Smurfs? No? Three's Company. Oh yeah.
There you go.
I grew up watching TV like everyone. And, the idea that I could have a job at it someday, I think when you get a job as an actor and you get fame, and when people are after fame, it's because they don't really want to be the person they were when they grew up. I want to be the person other people think I am. I want fame. I'm famous. Who's Brian? He's famous. like, is he famous or is he an actor? I want to be an actor. And so it became the job that I wanted to do, right? Not fame or anything beside it. I like the job. It's so to think I'm any different than any other person doing anything is, as they say, people get too big for their britches. They believe in the fame that the audience says. So, when I roll up, I'm like, I just automatically treat everybody like they know my whole past and history, like personally. So, like, oh, man, didn't know I fucking shit went through that shit.
But then I did this thing and this
thing. I hope they didn't hear what I said.
Is this one a mind reader? Did I find a fucking mind reader?
Wife? Do you know her? You live in Virginia?
Oh my gosh!
Right?
I
just
love
in my head like anybody else. So
Now, actually, I do have to ask, you were talking about you could be any of those people on TV or any of those characters or actors. Was there ever a thing that sort of stuck with you, a role that you saw someone do and you went, holy crap, that's what I want to do? Was there a moment for you like that?
No, I don't think it was really watching someone on TV as that's what I want to do. I mean, honestly, John Ritter was probably one of my favorites growing up, Three's Company, and him just being so one of the funniest people on TV. And we would watch Fawlty Towers growing up. And, my dad liked a lot of different comedies and the Jeffersons and, all of that television through the 80s. It wasn't until high school really that I started even think about acting. I took drama and, I won an award and this, and you go to this commercial workshop and meet this person. You can go to a workshop where people are acting. I was like, and then I started getting a little more into it. And my mom had said, listen, if you're really going to try to do it professionally, you should, research an actor. Pick an actor that you like and everything that we've watched so far growing up. Who do you like? We'll go to the library. We'll get their book and a couple books on them. And you can watch some of the movies and, study them and how they got into it. And that was Robert Redford for me. The movies he had done and, just he had kind of, I think one of the greatest movie stars out there, and yet humble. He came across very humble as much as a star and a human, right? A really good human. So it was that. And then Michael Landon from there, who I got to work with on one of my very first jobs ever. And, so then I started getting into, I guess, the studying of it. But, I think I stopped at the chapter when he was sober, drinking and partying in New York and hanging out on a stoop and smoking a joint. And it's, the 60s. And he's like, yeah, I was in New York. And I'm like, I want to do that. Like,
that's at that point in chapter 16.
Whipped jeans, barefoot, chicks everywhere, smoking a doob. I'm an actor.
Oh, yeah, don't worry about the next chapter. Fuck that shit.
I took that one to heart. Hey, let me job. Think about this. To aspire to be an actor, you're basically telling your parents, like, look, I'm going to work a bunch of part-time jobs and basically be unemployed at what I want to do. Cool?
constantly fighting out other people all the time.
Who's not down for that, right?
Yeah, come on.
You're going to be told no 99% of the time.
Sweet. It's like my dating life. Let's go.
Sign me up.
Perfect. Done.
Oh, Casey.
So it really became this thing. I remember we were playing ditch 'em, kick the can one night, summer late out there, and all the kids are sitting around like, oh, I'm going to be a rock star someday. Oh, that's impossible. You can't even play guitar right now, right? I'm going to be a pro athlete. I'm going to play football. I'm like, dude, you're 5'1". Like,
can't even run.
And I just stood there. I was like, I'm going to be an actor. And they're like, that's impossible, blah, blah, blah. And I guess, I always grew up as they called me Mouse growing up. I was tiny and quick, and it's hard to catch my ass, but I was like, get over here, Mouse. I'm like, what? Don't touch me. Like, and so it was, nobody believed in the mouse. Right. And I think that's what probably gave me the biggest kick in my ass, that I can do everything that you're telling me that's hard and impossible. And I kind of took that with me when I got out of high school and a year of community college, and like, fuck it, watch Mouse go, baby.
Hell yeah.
And I think that's
that's awesome.
Boom. Mouse.
Well, Chris asks a good question.
Don't call me that.
Babe.
Like, Tracy, stop it.
Come on.
I'm not Mouse anymore. I'm Brian Krause. You know who I am?
Babe, you know who I am. Come on.
Yo. Shut up, Mouse.
Damn it. All right, babe, I'll take the trash out.
Do I ever geek out or fanboy at any cons or on set?
Chris asked a good question. He says, do you ever geek out or have a fanboy moment?
Yeah, there's a nervous energy when it's funny, some of the actors you see at these shows, like, I'm a movie goer just like everyone else in television. It's like, there's some people, and I'll sit across, I'll do what I see fans doing on the floor, when they're like, I don't know if I should go up to the table. Like, they do like that side look, like, yeah, and they're looking around like, and I'll do the same thing. Like, I'm back in the green room, right? It's like, man, there's Doc. Like, I don't know. So, yes, I because I'm just a guy. I'm so, there's moments that meeting people, it's hard, and I'll actually avoid meeting actors and most people sometimes because I'm embarrassed. I'm like, oh, hi, hey, what's up, dude? You were fucking great in that. Like, it's hard not to geek out on other people's works or be envious. And I don't know that it's the person that they are, this energy, as much as, as a fellow actor, sometimes it's like, man, this guy's out of my league. I don't know, or it's like, oh man, I really, that should have been me. Yeah,
those are the ones you don't talk to, or if you do, you're going to punch those ones. Everyone else is reverence. The other ones, it's a little that competition.
No, it's a reverence for all the actors that are there. I mean, we're all trying to do the same thing, have a part-time job and try to get a full-time job, right? And we're so blessed and lucky to have been hired at anything in this industry. It's such a miracle that it happens, and how you move up and you happen to do a Marvel movie or this movie, how that became your path. You don't write that down. I can't teach you that anywhere. It happens, and people are plucked out and things happen, and we're blessed. So and some people just carry a great energy, and you don't want to get into their space. You don't know what they're going through. And, but I geek out. I've just been to Dragon Con. I don't know if you guys have been there. It's
so I was actually there when you were there.
Now?
Yeah, just this past one, except I was in another building and I was only down there for like 6 hours and I didn't know. I screwed up, man. It was a terrible trip. The whole thing was all messed up. It was a work trip.
It's okay. I had stomach issues the whole time. When I wasn't on the floor, I went back to the room and I was like, Alka-Seltzer. It's like, honestly, it was, I didn't get to enjoy the whole thing as much because my stomach was killing me, but holy crap, Dragon Con.
Dude, insane. It was nuts.
What?
I mean, was it like 4 hotels or something crazy all over the place?
Blocks of streets and parties and costumes. And I mean, if you're into it, it's there for you. I found a comedy puppet show. Are you kidding me?
That's amazing.
I love puppets. I love puppet comedy.
Well, it's perfect for you.
Nobody told me the schedules.
What's the next Brian Krause?
You're into magic. Yep. You're into the Star Wars area. You're into, almost a BDSM leather thing. That's happening at Dragon Con. I'm like, what? Dragon Con After Dark's crazy. Like,
I need
all
an adult
happens there. And, you don't write home about it and you just go back the next year.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Try it
awesome.
Again. See what happens the next round.
But
so it's kind of
a block party.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And you were talking about it, which I really liked, is you mentioned like when people give you the side eye, like that uncomfortable, like, can I go and talk to him? Can I? Hi. Like from your perspective, man, like, so you notice all of this then, like, especially a few years now. You've been doing cons for quite a few years. So now you've taken it in. You've been able to notice that. Is there any funny moments you have where you mess with people when you catch them doing that?
I don't know. Funny. I mean, I try to have fun every single moment I'm there all day. And sometimes the shows can get slow and you're there and, you feel like the wrestler, right? You're like, hey, anybody, hey kid, yeah, give me a smoke and no, you want an autograph? $10, $10. Give me a beer, like whatever. Right. So you feel like that. So you try to break the ice for people. I've had, people cry. We were at a con in France and not on my lap, but a girl defecated her pants while she was sitting on one of the girls' laps.
Oh no.
And the air wafted the room. It was like, and you could see, and we're talking like a 10-year-old, not a baby, like
a child.
It was awkward.
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
And so then from that, whatever, I was like, oh, boom, hands, pins, like get her out of here, like the whole room, like and oh, my light died. But hold on.
I love it. It's now Brian Krause at dark.
Yeah, we went after dark, guys. And next thing you know, I do this and whatever, and I'm like, oh, and I look at the girls and they're like, what? And they're like, I touched my eye. I think I touched my eye. Oh, no. We're like, no! And we're like, holy shit. Oh my God. And so us and the girls, we have a whole thing about, and sure enough, we left that show and like, I'm going on this whole run. I went to Australia and we did 2 weeks for a convention there. And, I had done another one in Germany from this. So I was traveling for about a month. And sure enough, by the time I get to where I'm going the next week, guess who's got conjunctivitis?
Oh, no. Oh, you got French doo-doo in the eyeball.
But I have to say this for Australia. Is that I just walked into the pharmacy and the blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, well, these are something you should go to a doctor. You can't go to a doctor for that. You have to go to a doctor for that, like you would in fucking America. And he's like, oh, no, it's no problem. Don't worry about it. Here's this thing. Writes me a prescription on the spot. Boom, boom, boom. Gives me the thing into my eye. That's, $2. I was like, what?
Wow. Way different than us. Different than us.
That works.
Yeah, right? Bro, I think we need to go to Australia.
I know that's not a funny story, but
oh yeah,
that's
pretty hilarious.
Sticks with
that's
me.
That's pretty funny.
Understandable.
Ugh.
It's just a lot of sanitizer everywhere all the time.
Yeah, that's not a good one.
I just got it right here.
No.
Brian, I appreciate you so much. I know Casey does too. Coming on and talk to us and kind of giving us an insider perspective, not just on conventions, but your podcast and what it entails, what you're getting into. What day do new episodes drop?
I believe it's going to be tomorrow. We'll have a drop for our Patreon members, and then the next episode officially drop on Friday. So it'll be Fridays.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Where do we go to listen to all the major podcasts?
The House of Halliwell, their Instagram, and the House of Halliwell. It's on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, wherever you get it.
We're gonna have you linked down below so everybody can follow you.
Be able to check it. Oh yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's exciting. I don't know. It's a can of worms to me. Especially it feels like it might be, it's a little out of my comfort zone of, being in a public eye sort of thing and pulling the curtain back of, I'm an actor. I play characters. So to see behind the scenes and not just an interview form, but, to see me really is how I don't know. It's like, am I an actor or am I a podcaster? Like, what am I selling the people here? And I guess you can do it all these days, but it's something. I'm very old school when it comes to how you came through the industry. And there's always kind of been this untold hierarchy of, it's independent student films, commercials, soap work, television, feature films, and you have this in the acting world. That's kind of how people address you and say like, oh, where are you at in your career?
Right. Yeah.
So to go off and do something that's really just me, is Brian Krause doing it? Yes, I was Leo or whatever, but it's me. It's a little uncomfortable. But who knows? Maybe I'm acting now.
And you could be. Surprise us all.
I do a podcast, The House of Halliwell. Anywhere you get your podcast.
Nailed it. That's how it's done, folks.
Damn right. See?
Awesome, man. Do you have
can we steal you from the House of Halliwell? Because you got a great voice and you're funny.
We'll bring you on. Be a snob.
Man. I want that room though. Look I have nothing on my walls here. I've just moved to Georgia. Literally, there's nothing. I have one of those big pillows you get at Costco. That's kind of like a pillow couch thing.
Oh yeah, heck yeah! The love sacks or whatever they're called.
That's my couch.
Awesome.
There's I am using a Amazon box for a coffee table. Picked up this desk. It's a nice desk. This guy refurbished this thing. It was sweet. Facebook Marketplace.
Hey, that's where I go for all your local needs.
Yeah, I got a camping chair and an air bed. I've been here 2 months.
I love it. That is so perfect.
Camping.
It's camping in the house. Perfect. Yeah. Glamping.
You can definitely tell Brian and I just moved in and Casey's like established.
Yeah, I love that. I'm like, man, I am so jealous of that. I actually went to the thrift store down the street today looking for wall art. I feel like I need that more than a couch.
Yeah, right. I mean, this is my convention stuff. Whenever I go to the conventions, Artist Alley is like my number one stop. I love seeing what they have. Always fantastic stuff and wonderful work of comic book artists that I've been a fan of my whole life. So always great to grab their stuff. I'm gonna have to shoot something to you too, brother. I'm gonna have to get Brian some of his first wall art down there.
Sweet. We gotta get him some Scene Snobs wall art, maybe a t-shirt too.
It's about this big. But you just where'd you just?
We got to get your size t-shirt. We're gonna send you a shirt. Me, I just moved to town over.
I'm an XL.
House.
Casey's like, no, you're not. You're a medium, bitch.
Dude, come on, bro. Hold up.
But a large, because I'll shrink it.
Yeah, no, that's why I get larges. Because after the second wash, it's no longer large.
That's right. It's a medium and a half.
Bingo.
I wear size.
I like to call it European large.
Just,
European large makes me feel better.
Shit.
European large for me is just whatever covers Europe. That's my size. So,
well, Brian, man, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us, man. This has been awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I hope I answered some questions, and I had a great time meeting you guys. And of course, I feel like we have a relationship now off camera.
Oh yeah.
Hello. Go to the House of Halliwell for more.
Yep, you can see them all and hear them all wherever you get your local podcasts.
But I hope to see you guys soon for sure.
Yes, go check out the House of Halliwell, everybody.
We'll hook something up.
Absolutely. We're definitely trying to link up again in the future, my friend.
Do something off the cameras.
That's what I'm saying. Holler, golf time.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Scene Snobs.
It's been a pleasure, Brian.
You're Scene Snobs.
For sure.
Noses in the air, my friend. Too good for everyone else except all of our friends.
Look at you with your opinions.
Thoughts? Why?
Yeah, Scene Snobs.
No, only the best for Buffy and my friends.
I'm gonna start getting my little handlebar mustache ready.
You're so snobby.
Oh my gosh,
I didn't like that scene. Did you?
Oh no, it was terrible. Definitely not as good as the first one.
I love it. Well, I'll be tuning into you guys as well. And thanks for the shout out.
Thank you again so much, Brian.
I appreciate it. I hope to do this again.
Yes, absolutely, my friend. Thank you.
All right, rock out.
Absolutely. Anytime, my friend. Take care, bro. Bye.
What do I do now?
Rich, I know, right? What happened?
Oh my God, he's so much fun.
He's amazing, man.
He just did such a great time.
He's a rad dude. He's just a fantastic human being, and he's a good person. And I really enjoy the fact that we're able to kind of share and connect and learn from this, awesome guy who, welcomed us with open arms. So it was radical.
I got to tell you, I'm such a cuck for rewatch podcasts. I think I'm going to start watching Charmed, and so I can listen to the podcast.
You should. It's been fantastic.
Because I'm all about it. I watch anytime I rewatch.
Yeah, I mean, Fake Doctor's Real Friends was one of my favorites. That was without a doubt one of the tops.
And listen, that's totally
because of Scrubs. And then jumping into this has been amazing.
And I'm watching Talkville right now.
That's yours.
Yeah.
You and your Smallville
right now. So I do love my Smallville. But guys, I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much to Brian Krause joining us. Thank you, Casey, for just being awesome. I love you, buddy. You know that. And before we go, we have to, of course, Sarah, thank you to our patrons. Tim, Paul, Stacy, Matt, Aaron, Chris S, and Chris H.
Dan, John B, Ron, Jason, AJ, Radar, John W.
I'm going to talk while my dog is howling and just say, everybody, this show is usually in a lot better condition. But yeah, guys, if you want to join up on Patreon, go check out patreon.com/thescenesnobs. And also make sure to go check us out on our Discord, Snobs Nation, where we're having great conversations and more. Give this video a like. Check out the Scene Snobs Podcast live every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Of course, we have tons of other shows. All right, you take over, Case.
All right. So you can check out all of our wonderful shows on our YouTube channel or check us out on our Linktree. We've got Real Combat, which will be coming back shortly with some new exciting episodes. Plot Roast is on the way. The Scene Snobs movie reviews. And, of course, Geekfest Live. Next slide, please. And we have merch.
I'm getting there.
If you'd like to drape yourself in some of the most fantastical wear to entice and perhaps be the envy of all your friends, please make sure to check out the Scene Snobs merch store. You can find us through our Linktree, and make sure to get something fancy for us and for yourself, because you deserve it.
Hell yeah. The ladies.
You can also check us out on all of our social media platforms, of course, at the Scene Snobs, except TikTok, which leave off the S for savings.
You know what? I was going to say before we get into it, we were going to make a big announcement, but this dog is killing me right now. So I'm going to save the
making an announcement for you.
I'm going to make the announcement for the next episode. And just Casey, take it away, my friend.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it as always. It means a lot that you decided to spend a little time with us, and hopefully we're able to bring in some fine, high-quality entertainment. Thank you so much, Brian Krause, for coming and hanging out and, peeling back the curtain a little bit and showing himself what a fantastic human being is. And being able to just jump on the mic and share like that is not easy, and it's fantastic, and we love and appreciate him for it. So a snob in our hearts as always. Thank you, fellow snobs. If you're joining the Snob Nation, we appreciate it. And in the meantime, remember to always be kind to yourself, be kind to each other.
As always, I can't say it better than myself. See, I can't. So good night.
Good night, everybody.
I'm so upset.
Go to bed, Grandpa.
It's time to go to bed. It's time to go to bed.
Time to go to bed. I'm so mad right now.
Screwed it up for everybody. You put out the crackers and you weren't supposed to.
That charcuterie board was crap.
What is it? Salami, no pepperoni? You bastard.
Come on. Oh, Colby Jack cheese. Thanks for the splurge.
All right, go lay down, my puppy. I love you, but you drive me crazy.